Hey guys, and welcome back to Bristow Daily Homes. Ryan here. I'm sure everybody's aware that the government shutdown is finally over. Although I kind of had a feeling the whole time that they weren't going to default on their debt or anything like that. All they've really essentially done is kick the can down the road. We'll probably be right back in the same boat come January. Obviously, the government is basically going to be funded through January 15th, and the debt limit has been raised through February the 7th. So they never really dealt with any of the major issues. They just kind of gave themselves more time through the holidays, which isn't a surprise. Congress doesn't want to deal with anything through the holidays. They do have upcoming budget that are supposed to be talked about and dealt with through, I think it's like December the 15th. So they got about 90 days to figure a lot of things out. Now, how does this affect real estate? Well, I would imagine that between now and the end of the year, interest rates should stay somewhat steady now that we have some sort of certainty, at least through the end of the year. As to what happens at the beginning of next year is to be determined. However, we do have the Fed chairman who's probably going to be replaced with Janet Yellen. She has probably an even more aggressive interest rate policy. She's talked about having negative interest rates for the banks and whatnot. So what that really means for you is that it could be lower interest rates. There could be more quantitative easing, which means that they could continue to purchase more mortgage-backed securities to push interest rates lower. Now, there's so much stuff going on all at one time, it's hard to say whether this will really happen or not. And I think that, buying through the winter, you might be able to get a little bit of a better deal because there's typically less people putting their house on the market. Although there is this last-second push, it seems like right now, where everybody's trying to get out of their house and get as much profit as possible. But with the interest rate policies that could be upcoming, I think that we might have a continuing trend now that everybody's back to work. As long as we don't have a default come the beginning of next year, which, believe me, I think that the last thing that will ever happen is defaulting on our debt. I don't really think we have to worry about that. They just like to threaten that. They like to scare people. But at the end of the day, it's much of the same, and we've been kicking the can down the road for 4 or 5 years now, if not longer than that, obviously. But I still think that taking advantage of low interest rates, if you're willing and able and you have stable employment and the income to support it, makes complete sense. Don't get so caught up in, well, should I wait to begin the year? What will interest rates do? If it makes sense today, then do it. If interest rates were to drop a whole % between now and, a year from now, then you can refinance into the lower rate. But don't, make your decision based upon where you're trying to figure out where interest rates are headed, where government policy is going. Make the decision based upon, do you feel like your income is stable? Do you feel like your job is stable? Do you have money saved up in case somebody were to lose their job? Do you have a reserve fund? Those are the things that, you should really be basing your decision to buy off of. And also your short and long-term goals, which is something that I discussed with my clients at the very first meeting to figure out what they're actually trying to accomplish. It's not just to, buy a home and make money on it, because those times have passed unless you're, an investor and you know what you're doing. So the first property we have is 12589 Gary Glen Drive, which is located in the Braemar subdivision. It's a detached colonial, 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 2 half baths. Sits on almost a third of an acre. It's a standard sale price of $475,000. 3 levels, all 3 are finished. I think this house has a great look to it. Brick front from the outside, 2-car garage, hardwood floors throughout, pretty neutral paint, granite countertops, and stainless steel appliances you can see in the kitchen. The kitchen's a little small. That's the one drawback I've seen about this house, but everything else seems to look great. I think they've done a great job of upkeep, and it just looks very clean, nice and, decorated pretty nicely. There's a lot of furniture, so I have a feeling there's a little bit more space than what it's showing. There's 2,551 square feet on the main 2 levels, and about another 1,000 finished in the basement. We'll go through some of the pics here. Here's the master bedroom with the vaulted ceilings, which is nice. Master bathroom, which you can see is upgraded vanities with granite countertops and ceramic tile throughout. So both of the bathrooms have been upgraded quite nicely. Nice walk-in closet here. Spare bedrooms. And here's the other hallway bathroom, which has been upgraded as well. So definitely a lot of upgrades that have been done in this home. It's not just basically your standard spec builder grade home. Here's the backyard patio. Some trees. I think overall this is a nice house. At $475,000, there was another property that sold similar, actually 300 square feet less or 400 square feet less in September for $456. But there was another one that sold back in June for similar square footage, similar lot for $479. I think with the upgrades and stuff that we have going on here, Obviously, Braemar is a desirable neighborhood. Now, this is built in '99, so it was built in the earlier sections of Braemar, one of the first sections, so it's a little bit older than some of the other houses that were built in '03, '04. But with the upgrades that have been done, I think that this is definitely worth a look, especially with knowing that you have a fully finished basement, you got a decent lot size there. I think that somebody would definitely be happy to own this home. It also has a hot tub in the backyard that I did not talk about. So the next property is 9054 Falcon Glen Court. This is an in-unit townhome in the Foxborough subdivision. It's a standard sale, 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 2 half baths, listed at $272,500, 1-car garage, and also it looks like you have the driveway. You can park another car in the driveway there. We'll tell you that price at $272,500. I think it's right in the proper range. However, you're going to have to do a little bit on the inside here. They've got a lot of wallpaper, which I'm always telling sellers, try to envision somebody else walking in your house. That first thing they're thinking is, crap, I got to rip down the wallpaper, which is not necessarily an easy task. So there's a lot of wallpaper throughout this house. This is the lower level, which was a movie room or a media room at one point, which they've now converted to a master bedroom. Obviously, if you just swapped out the paint or you want to convert it back to a media room, that would probably be the easiest thing to do there. Hardwood floors on the stairs. It's the main level. Here's the kitchen area, which looks kind of more the country theme in there with the oak cabinets and the green countertops that can be swapped out. Obviously, you can change that. Got the pans hanging from the ceiling. I'm not a big fan of that either. And then there looks like there's a wallpaper border up top. So like I said, there's some minor cosmetic things, paint and wallpaper changes that you might have to make, but it doesn't look like it's necessarily going to be something that's going to cost you too much money. Here's the master bedroom, master bath. You're getting about 2,000 total square feet with the garage, so I think as far as square footage is concerned, it's a great deal for square footage. Plus, you get the added extra storage in the garage. Some people use that to actually park the car, but a majority of people that I see at these townhomes, they use the garage space as storage space because there really isn't as much on the inside. You have a fenced-in backyard, which is nice if you have pets or kids, as you can see here. And the biggest thing with this house is the HOE is not bad. It's only $54 a month. An in-unit townhome, I know most people really prefer to have in-units, so you get that a little bit of light from the side of the house and you don't feel confined on both sides. So there was a property that sold in September for $272,500. And there was another in-unit that sold back in May for $300,000. So I think that they're pretty much pricing off the other one that sold. There's a little bit of cosmetic work here, but I think overall, I think that you could get in there, do some paint, strip the drywall down, maybe a few appliance changes, for probably $5,000 or less, and really turn this into a great home. If you'd like to see either of the 2 homes that we reviewed today, or would like to get a tour of all the neighborhoods in Bristow, we'd be glad to set up an appointment to do that. 703-596-0011, or check us out on our website and contact us there at bristowdailyhomes.com. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope everybody has a fantastic Thursday, and we'll be talking to you tomorrow.